Hello, Oracles. Oracle, Tim here from Oracle Investments. Well, yesterday I watched Mary Barra at the CES going over all of GM's plans for the next decade or so, and kind of brought some things to my mind about the relationship between Tesla and legacy auto. And so what I thought about was the fact that Tesla doesn't need legacy auto. Tesla's going to succeed either way. However, Tesla's success, ironically, will be magnified and do better if legacy auto succeeds, at least in the early stages. And here is why. EV adoption is what will drive Tesla's business forward faster than anything else. Currently, right now, obviously, we know that Tesla's production can't even keep up with their demand. So what that means is if these legacy automakers and startups like Rivian and Lucid can produce a good vehicle that customers will buy and say, you know what, this is a good vehicle, this vehicle is better than my ICE vehicle, that will continue the revolution going forward. So despite the fact that Tesla isn't selling to all of the customers that are out there, if good quality EVs are getting into the hands of consumers, that will just mean that going forward, the EV revolution will happen faster, and this will end up being a win-win for Tesla, because Tesla is going to win whether legacy auto succeeds or not, and Tesla will win even more if legacy auto does succeed. And we know that Tesla's production is going to ramp up exponentially. So as the EV revolution expands exponentially, so will Tesla's production to be able to keep up with that. Meanwhile, all of the other automakers are still in the beginning ramp phases, so Tesla will be able to take the meat and potatoes of all of that. And then even the consumers and customers who are buying some of these legacy auto vehicles will find out over time that, you know what, maybe those vehicles aren't as good as the Teslas. And Tesla's cost is coming down, and they're like, you know what, we'll switch over to Tesla. Granted, that is not going to be the case across the board. Some people are just loyal to their manufacturers that they have been loyal to their entire lives. But the success of these legacy automakers will in turn help Tesla's success grow even faster, especially in the short term. And now the success of these legacy automakers does not concern me whatsoever. I'm a big fan of going green. I applaud their efforts to go green and become EV and carbon neutral. So for me, I like that, and I'm not concerned about Tesla losing market share or even losing the lead to any of them whatsoever. I don't see it happening. I can't see it happening. In watching this CES show with Mary Barra yesterday, it brought to my attention, the difference between Tesla and GM. And the big difference is obviously the CEO. When Elon talks about Tesla, he talks like an engineer. He talks like the guy who created the vehicle, because he did. And his engineering staff is, like he says, needs more credit than people give them. So they have the smartest engineers, and they speak like it. When watching the CES yesterday, there was a lot of big buzzwords that were used, titans and might, and just when talking about, even when their engineer spoke about the Silverado, it's like, aerodynamics and like words that, I would think like when I was 12, I was like, ooh, cool, big words. And, after listening to Tesla, I'm like, I've learned more from Tesla in the last year about engineering than my entire life. And GM just isn't there. So to me, it feels like a lot of fluff. And I'm much more of a believe it when I see it kind of guy. So again, I think GM is very corrupt and full of BS, but they're making efforts, whether those efforts are actually true efforts or just them spewing what we want to hear. We'll see in the future. Let's see if they can actually produce some vehicles that don't get recalled entirely. So again, like Elon said, production is easy. Scaling is extremely difficult. So let's see if these production vehicles can get to scale. They have very ambitious plans. And their Ultium battery platform, share them with me in the comments. I've been looking for of some sort of knowledge and information on a comparison between the quality of the Ultium batteries and the 4680s. I have seen some comparisons between Ultium and 2170s. So let me know if you guys have any information or links that I can track on those, because I'd be very interested to see the difference between the two, because GM is just touting their Ultium platform as the future, and I'm like, I can't imagine that it is, especially compared to the 4680. But I want some true proof behind this, and I want some research done before I make any judgments on that. And the other thing I noticed too is it's hilarious. I'm an Apple guy. I have iPhones, a MacBook Air, and I'm like, so for me, I like Apple. But I talk to all of my my Droid friends, and they joke around about how, you know, Apple comes out with this new feature that, you know, has never been seen before. But Droid's like, dude, I've had that for 2 years. And when GM was talking about Ultify, you know, the way they were talking about it was if, you know, Tesla doesn't even exist. And we know that GM doesn't acknowledge Tesla's existence, just like our government. But, you know, it was funny to see that, because it's like literally the same exact situation where GM is like, look at what we have. This is revolutionizing the future. This is amazing. Think about all these things that you can do. And Tesla owners are like, dude, I had that 2 years ago. I had that 3 years ago. You know, that's old technology for us. We're so far ahead of that. And it's great because in seeing this, we know as Tesla investors that Tesla is so far ahead of everyone else. And eventually everyone else will see this, but there are some people who are just so anti-Tesla, they're going to have their blinders on and not know. And that's fine. You know, not everybody is going to buy a Tesla, sadly to say, but it's true. And I am really excited, and I'm going to bookmark this video to look at next year and see what their Q4 year-over-year percentage gain in EVs is going to be and how much they're going to tout that. Because they produced and delivered 26 EVs in Q4. GM, absolutely outstanding job. So their percentage growth year over year is just going to be blowing our minds in the thousands of percents, because they're going to probably sell and deliver 20,000 of them. Anyway, but I digress. In any event, it is definitely important, I think, for these legacy automakers to produce something quality. And, you know, Ford has the Ford F-150 Lightning that is starting to do well. The Ford Mach-E also doing well. Lucid and Rivian coming online. So again, despite, you know, the competition, which we know is not going to affect Tesla, with the amount of demand that is out there, it will be good to see other EV makers, even if they are the legacy automakers, producing quality vehicles for new EV owners to step into and just be grateful then to be like, you know what, this EV is worth it. And then they can share with their friends and continue expanding the EV adoption and speed that up faster than it would have been if it was just Tesla pushing this. Let me know in the comments below if you guys had a chance to watch the CES yesterday, and give me your feedback on what you thought about GM's potential future lineup. And again, let me know if you guys have seen or have any research done on the difference and comparison between the Ultium batteries and the 4680s, because I am definitely interested in doing a little deeper digging on that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I put all the latest and greatest information that I can to you guys there as quickly as possible. And if any news comes out of Austin over the next 2 days, that's where I will share it with you guys immediately. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much.